Good evening, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. Another great Tuesday. So much has happened in sports. So we're going to get right to it. Thank you so much for tuning into The Focus. We got a lot on tonight's agenda, but we're going to start with the Maryland Terrapins. What you guys just saw was the championship girls game of the WCAC finals. Cardell is going to join us and talk with us about that a little bit. He was busy on Sunday doing that. I was at Maryland for the first part of the day. It was senior day. The Terps beat Nebraska 77-75. Maryland's the number 2 seed in the Big Ten tournament. It was said to be a rebuilding year, but again, Brenda Free's done a solid job getting this team where it needs to go, despite some transfers and a big injury to Blair Watson. They're still where they need to be. The Big Ten tournament starts this Friday at 6:30. Maryland, this is the first time they didn't win the conference outright. Again, they're the number 2 seed. Ohio State won it. But several Maryland players did make all-conference. Kyla Charles named all Big Ten first team. Eliana Krishnaki, who really came on after Blair Watson went down, and Kristen Confroy both made all Big Ten honorable mentions. And Aisha Small was the Big Ten Sixth Player of the Year, a.k.a. the Sixth Man of the Year. And she's been huge for the Terps all year, coming off the bench, providing consistent leadership as one of the 2 seniors. So congratulations to both her and Kristen Confroy for, what they've meant to the Maryland program. Confroy is going down as one of the best three-point shooters that has ever attended the school percentage-wise, and she's one of 2 players to make 200 career three-pointers. MLS officially starts this week. So that 8-month season, that grind begins. Was at open training this morning. DC United is going to travel down to Orlando this weekend. So they're going right back down to Florida, which is where they spent the bulk of their training camp. And they play on the road in Orlando. Both teams had a lot of changes from a personnel standpoint this offseason, so it'll be interesting to see who's able to kind of figure out who they are first in this first week in MLS action. DC United beat Las Vegas Light FC in their final preseason match 4-2. Yamil Assad scored his first goal for DC United. Paul Areola had 3 assists. Darren Maddox scored his 3rd goal of the preseason. Ian Harks chipped in with his first. And Luciano Acosta scored his 4th of the preseason. Ben Olsen talked today at open training with the media, he was asked about the identity of this year's team. One of the things they're going to focus on, is about ball retention, keeping the ball a little bit better this year. They're a counter-attacking unit. They really added to the midfield. So they have some dynamic pieces when it's time after they win possession in terms of attacking. Transition was key for them last year. They struggled in that area. They added so many players to the middle of that team. I'm interested to see who's going to win those jobs outright in midfield, and there's going to be quality coming off the bench as well. And we also had a chance to talk to Paul Areola. I asked him about just how dynamic they think they can be, and that'll be up on mymountainsports.com a little later this week. And we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we got Cardell Dudley joining us to talk about the WCAC championships for both the boys and the girls. You're watching The Focus TV. Welcome back to the Focus TV, man. We just have to apparently we need to have a moment to talk about the punter that just retired for the Philadelphia Eagles, because Octavia is so moved by this. We just have to talk about this.
I'm just saying, I understand why he did it though. He's been in the league 14 years.
Was it Donnie Jones?
Yeah, and I mean, he got his ring. He's
Isn't he
what else?
60 or something?
Exactly. He's like, what else is there to do at this point?
You just had to bring the Eagles into this conversation today somehow, some way.
Well, Donald started it.
Oh, this is your fault that she's talking about this?
He said I was still riding a high from it,
Oh,
so
man.
it brought it back to my mind.
All right, well, it's the off season. We're going to let that ride for a little bit.
I told y'all getting this all summer, all year long.
Look, y'all who? Like,
Everybody.
I
Nah.
respect.
No, I don't mean like in a bad way. I'm just going to be talking about it all
So the
year.
Redskins,
like
Yeah, we
we've
don't
definitely
worry
been
about- we ain't
respectful.
worry about that.
Like, the two of us have been very respectful
Oh,
throughout
no,
this whole
I don't
process.
mean it in a bad way. I'm just saying, like, I'm going to talk about the Eagles
You said what,
all
Dom?
year long. What
It's
was
not a
that?
division team. I don't care. It doesn't impact my life. But Cardell, WCAC, son.
people wild, man.
Y'all division just be messing with stuff, man.
Like, yesterday, of course, it was the WCAC championship games for the girls and boys. It was one of the most competitive I've seen since I've been covering them the past 2-3 years. In the girls championship, in a balanced attack, St. John's, led by junior guard Carly Rivera, 16 points. Junior center, Malu Shatenge Matumbo, that's the Kimbe Matumbo's niece for people that don't know. 8 points and 15 rebounds. Freshman stud AZ Fudd, I'm getting a lot about her soon. 11 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. And senior Sydney Wood, 9 points and 10 rebounds. Defeated Paul VI 54-49 to win their second straight WCAC championship. Paul VI was led by junior guard Maryland commit Ashley Wilson's game high 26. Wilson, you will get familiar with her very soon. The game was how I expected it to be. They've been the two best teams in the WCAC all season long, going back and forth. I think they beat each other at their place. So when they went on the road to beat each other. So, it wasn't a surprise that they made it to the championship game, even though Paul VI got a hell of a scare from Bishop McNamara in the semifinals. It took Ashley Owusu going off late and making one hell of a pass to her, her shooter with the time running out to get them.
And thank you for tagging me, because that was definitely worth 18 minutes of my life to watch it.
That fourth quarter was amazing. They was down 13, and that's what makes Owusu special.
It was a great
Like I
pass.
said, she's not as flashy as Destiny was, but she can be every bit as effective when she get on campus in a year. So Maryland will love her. Junior guard Carly Rivera, she was kind of the, out of all their horses in the starting lineup, Matumbo down low, then you got the Fudd and Sydney Wood, who's a senior. I think Paul VI playing, it looked like they were just going to leave Rivera open, and she made them pay. She was perfect from the field, 6 for 6, 4 for 4 from 3. She was pretty much the X factor the all game. That's why they won, such a close game. And while she hit 4 3-pointers by herself, Paul VI only hit 1 all game. And that was totally different from the semifinal where they had to hit a barrage to come back and beat McNamara. Sydney Wood, like I said, the senior, she had an off night shooting, but she did what seniors do. She found another way to impact the game. I think she 5'7" guard. She went and grabbed 10 rebounds. 4 was offensive. She showed great leadership. Matumbo, she won the battle against Paul VI senior center, Tennessee commit Amara Collins. She was all over. She was altering shots. She grabbed the game high, 15 rebounds, 6 were offensive. And she scored efficiently inside when she had her touches. She went 4 for 6. And Amira kind of won the battle in the first half, but in the second half, it was all Matumbo. And her activity, her running the floor, getting all the rebounds, it got Collins frustrated. And it wasn't just her, it was just the defense that St. John's was playing. It was hard for them to get the ball into her. Paul VI, it was the defense St. John's was playing, but it was hard for Paul VI to get the ball into her. And like I said, when you only hit 1 3-pointer, I think they went 1 for 11. You just crowd the paint. There's no reason for me to run out there. I'm going to just let y'all keep shooting until you make me come out. We're not about to let her beat us, though, because she's capable. So it was a great plan. They couldn't make enough shots to, open up for her, open some room up in the paint. And AZ Fudd, I'm just going to keep it real. She got a chance to be the best to ever come out the area. She's that far ahead. And that means Marissa Coleman, TRP, Kara Lawson, Rebecca Brunson with Oxon Hill, Georgetown. She's that ahead. She actually won true freshman, 14 years old. She won Player of the Year in the WCSC and won the championship. And what a lot of people don't know is she's actually 14, but she's playing up on the Fairfax Stars, which play on the Nike circuit, and 16 other. And she tried out and made USA Basketball. I think they 16 other or senior team, one of those 16 other. That's how far ahead she is. She's a 5'11", do everything guard. Yesterday, her knowledge of the game, a lot of young players, when they feel pressure, especially the way Owusu was going off, they would feel the need to try to get back at it. Right. She just stayed within the game plan. She ain't feed into that. She shot 3 for 8, but she had 11 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. And that was after a game where I think she had about 22 in the semifinals, where she just destroyed. And she's well worth the hype, man. She has everything. And for her to be this far ahead, to be a freshman, it's scary. So by the time she's about to graduate, it could be ugly. I mean, I think by the time she graduates high school, she's going to be trying to get on the national team, USA Basketball, with the WNBA vets and stuff. So that's how talented she is, man. The sky's the limit for her. On the Paul the 6 side, Ashley Owusu, like I said, Terps fans going to love her. She can score every way. She make players around her better. She's a good defender and rebounder. She shot 11 for 18 from the field, while the rest of Paul the 6 shot a combined 11 for 32.
She's hard to win like that.
Yeah, so she kept them in the game against all that talent on the other side. That tells you how dominant she is in her own right. Like I said, Amara Collins, she finished with 12 points and 6 assists. 6 rebounds on 6 of 16 shooting. But most of her damage came in the first half. Like I said, Paul the 6, St. John swarmed her. And they were just like, you want to beat us from the outside, which they weren't able to do. So, she became frustrated, rightfully so, her last game. And, it happens, man. They got to they picked the wrong time to go cold. On the boys' side, it was a bit more thrilling, man. That was a little bit more intense. After a hot start, they saw Gonzaga. They took a 14-12 lead thanks to senior Penn State commit with Miles Dreher, who scored 7 of their 14 points. DeMatha, Riley, led by standout sophomores Earl Timberlake, Hunter Dickinson. They outscored Gonzaga 42-39 over the next 3 quarters and win their first WCAC championship since 2011. The great teams that won, they did a 3-peat, the Quinn Cook, Grant Brothers, Oladipo teams. Senior Allen Blunt led Gonzaga with a game-high 19 points. Timberlake, he finished with 14 points, 7 rebounds to 3 blocks, but that was the least of his impact. His impact was really, defensively, was crazy. He was glassing guys' shot. He was getting in lane drawing charges and stuff. He refused to let them lose. And even when Gonzaga was up late, he hit the go-ahead 3-pointer. And that's not even really his game yet. He's a streaky shooter. If he's on, he's on. If he's not, he's not. And I love his attitude. He's an old-school competitor. He has the old-school type of competitiveness and toughness that you don't see in a lot of kids today. I think on one rebound he got undercut and hit the floor hard. And I thought everybody's like, ooh, he might have been hurt. He just bounced right up and ran down court like it's nothing. He's just a different breed, man. He's a dog. That's what I like to call a dog. He's a 6'6" explosive athlete. Stepped up late when they were down, brought them back, hit the clutch basket to go ahead 3-pointer, timely blocks, hustle. He has everything you would want in him, especially to be a sophomore. And he would kind of remind me of Latrell Sprewell when he was with Golden State, not the Knicks, when he was more calm down, score. I'm talking about when he was strapping up Jordan at times, who won it? I'm right here. That's who he reminded me a lot of. So, he got the championship out the way. The sky's the limit for him as well. Hunter Dickinson, 7-footer. If you've been following me, you know how much I love this kid as well. After seeing him in 8th grade All-Star game, it's clear what he's going to be. If he could stay healthy, that's the only thing that's kind of hindering him because he got hurt this year too for a stretch. And, DeMatha, was up and down during that stretch, but they held it together for the most part. He's a traditional big, man, back to the basket, but he can still step out and shoot, pass, high IQ, tough. And he played with a leg brace to protect his knee, which I'm sure hampered him because he missed a lot of close shots that he normally would just dunk home. With that being said, he still shot 6 for 13 from the field with 2 or 3 defenders around him and grabbed the game-high 9 rebounds. That tells you all you need to know. So he did his thing inside. He drew those guys inside, and, DeMatha shot well enough to make them pay, which resulted in them winning. And Justin Moore, another junior, he was quiet in the first half, but he came out strong in the second. He finished with 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. He made some big shots and big plays down the stretch as well, even though he was kind of off. he did what he had to do to get the win as well. With those 3 coming back next year, I think they're gonna possibly be number 1 easily. Not just in the area, but they're gonna probably be top 5 in the country as well. Because now that they got the experience of winning the championship, and I think all of them pretty much. I don't know about more, but I know Dickinson and Timberlake, they play on the for Takeover on the Nike circuit. The experience and all that, they're just gonna get better, and it's gonna be harder to beat them. Gonzaga said, like I said, Alan Blunt Senior, he was locked in all game. He shot 8 for 12 from the field. He really kept them in it. Like he didn't miss, including the 3 for 4 from deep. He was everywhere defensively. I mean, whenever DeMatha had some momentum, he would just hit a shot to kill it. Whenever they would try to, like, all right, get control of the game, he would hit a shot, and they would kill that momentum right away. And, you know, they had that shot. If Timberlake had hit that big 3, I think they might have pulled it off, but he hit the big 3. So, you know, big-time players step up and make big-time shots. This is how it goes. And Miles Dre's their senior leader after his hot start, he cooled off a bit, and that was mostly because of DeMatha's defense. You know, they, like I said, they doubled him too. I mean, and that's smart. You know, make somebody else beat us. We ain't gonna just let the key guys just do what they want and all that. You know, after shooting 3 for 7 in the first half, Dredd only attempted 3 shots in the second. Part of that was because of Blunt's hot shooting they was feeding him, and part of it was because of the defense of Timberlake and Moore. But you know, seeing where he came from as a freshman to now, all I gotta do is respect that dude, because he came from just being a defensive player to a defensive player and slasher to first team WCAC. All, you know, like all around player. That's a testament to the work. And, you know, he showed a lot of class even when they lost. Made sure the team shook their hand, they, you know, powered whatever, went to the student section, gave him love because they supported him. And, you know, that's what leaders do. I'm excited to see what he can do at Penn State, because he definitely got a shot to, you know, take it far, be a pro. And he stepped up big time because a lot of people don't know Gonzaga's best player is Prentice Hub. Right. He saw his ACL early in the season. He's going to Notre Dame. So he stepped up and got him to the championship game. You know, that's what senior leaders do. So much respect to him.
All right, man. I know we just saw the girls' highlights. We can't wait to see the boys. So everyone already knows you just got to head to finestmag.com. That will be on the way. And we already talked, you know, you've been really in my ear about FUD. So I will be there more than a couple of times next year. I'm play tag along, whatever you need me to do. Just want to go ahead and, like you said, see her while you can for free, right?
Before it gets expensive. I'm serious, y'all.
Before it gets expensive.
Look, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna say this: Gino, Don know who she is very well.
I'm sure
They're
she
very
does.
familiar with her.
I think she'd fit wonderfully there, but we're gonna keep it moving.
No, they won't know she won't.
Hey.
Wakanda, we got that. Hey, you already know we got the guards at the city. Hey, state lines, baby. At the airports, all that. State lines, baby.
Y'all not gonna let her
You are
leave
not
earlier?
leaving.
You know where I want her to go. Why are we having it?
You are
But,
not
hey, look, hold on.
leaving.
That's tampering.
But,
I can't say not go
Hold
ahead.
on. I gave my concession that I'm cool with her going here because that means we get the front row seats. So I'm okay with that too. I'm okay
You
with
can
that.
travel up there too. I don't mean, look, man.
Nah, it's different though.
It's
It's a
tampering. Come on
it's
now.
a different warmth to my
You
heart.
gonna have the feds in here
if she goes up
investigating us,
north.
man. Taking our computers.
I don't have that type of pull. We good. We safe. No 3,000 hour phone calls around these parts.
Oh, man.
We all right. But that's another topic for another moment, maybe later in rapid fire. But before we get to another break, got to talk about the Wizards. Be remiss if we don't talk about them. This is what we're here to do each and every week on our Wizards segment. So as of late, you know, they had a chance they beat the Cavaliers to start the post-All-Star break. Really good win, winning to Cleveland. Really solid win. Came home, had a chance to, you know, to overtake the Cavs, you know, half-game lead after beating them. You know, they shrunk the race for third down to a half game, blew out by the Hornets. Frank Kaminsky went off, and Cardell, I don't need to hear any of this at this moment. So before you even start, before you even start, keep it to yourself.
It's
Y'all want to know what I'm talking about?
It's his fault.
You can get on
He's been
social media.
trashing them all season. Frank Kaminsky looking like Larry Bird out here. It's his fault. Mike, no, what up, Mike? Mike Sykes, I know you listening, man. It's his fault. That's why he quiet. Halftime, like, they killing. Man, I know this team, man. They're not going to do that in the second half.
hold
I'm like,
on.
you sure? He like, I'm sure.
Hey,
I
hold
know
on.
them.
Hey, hold
Unless
on.
Kemba and Dwight go. I said, okay.
Hey, look, I said unless. It's not my fault that they let unless happen. That's not on me.
Frank Kaminsky was shooting step back 3-pointers and not even waiting for it to
Hey, you
go
heard
in.
me?
He was just running back down court.
I was done with Frank when
Oh,
he
he
was
pulled
taking
a
people
step.
off the dribble. I was done. I was over life.
Yeah,
like that was Wisconsin Frank for like a hot second, and I'm not. No one's seen Wisconsin Frank on this level. But moving on, they rebounded with a good win over the Sixers. You know, a team that's trying to make the playoffs. You know, a very good team with two very good young players, and they did a really good job defending the 3-point line, which is why the loss to the Hornets was kind of alarming, because Frank went nuts from three, hit a career 6 threes. But, you know, you were able to bother and hassle and get after J.J. Redick and Marco Bellinelli, two of the NBA's better gunners. You know, these guys are in the league for you know, pretty much they're here because they hit threes. And the Wizards did a good job crowding them, running them off screens. And, you know, there were some shots they just missed. But, again, you got to give him credit for good defense. Shout out to Kelly Oubre. Big boy game from him. He set the tone for Washington early. You know what he brings defensively. But you're starting to see what he can bring offensively. And that same impact he has defensively, it's infectious on them offensively. Go ahead, Cardell.
Right now, the Wizards are smacking the Bucks 26-7.
Yeah. I'm
Porter
watching
got 9.
it.
Marquise
It's kind of
6.
bad right now.
Okay.
Bill got
It was
7.
17-2 at one point.
Look, man, this has been a frustrating thing, which
Exactly.
we shared all during the first half of the season. Is this team is capable of doing this, so we're not gonna sit up here and be surprised. It's just about consistency. Now the big thing is if you finish tonight's game, take care of the Bucks, big time win. You have to at least match that intensity from tonight,
And
tomorrow
they will.
night.
They got those
you know?
boys. I mean, they will because it's the chance. Man.
Yep.
And they know they'll match it since it's going
And
to be
that's
over by halftime.
And that's probably why why they're playing so hard right now too. They probably trying to get this game over with real quick,
And
knowing
get
that they
that
got to
rest.
play them tomorrow. Because I think that was part of the reason why they played so bad against the Hornets. They had the back-to-back with the Cavs the night before.
But the Hornets had a back-to-back
Yeah,
too,
that's
so
no
it's like
excuse. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
no
giving them
excuse.
excuse
Nah, they just
because the
lost.
Hornets went like the only thing I think Coach Clifford said the Hornets got in town before.
Look at it, man.
But
They
come
just
on,
had
man.
like a week and a half for the All-Star break.
Look,
They should
I
not
just
be
said-
tired.
Hey,
That
I
is
just
very
said
true.
no
I don't
excuses.
want to hit.
And it's a young team.
I try,
so,
guys.
for the most part, everybody under the 4 and 5 are young, so should be no
But
excuses.
like I said, hold the fort down until Wall get back. That's the main. And then
You're 9 and
let's
3 right
rumble.
now. You take care of the night. That's 10 and 3. Whatever happens tomorrow night happens, and you got 2 more chances. For the most part, Golden State's your only non-East opponent so far. Like that's huge. Right now, you're a half game behind the Cavs. You take care of this game tonight. You finish this game strong. Got a chance to overtake the Cavs by Sunday. You know what I'm saying? If you take care of business, so they got an opportunity.
Or tonight, if the Nets hold
Or
on.
tonight.
Shout out Nets. Go ahead
Told
and get that W.
you. They was up 61-60 at halftime.
Okafor, let's go, baby. Go ahead. This ain't no-
You know, so credit to the Wizards for their start tonight. We'll time will tell to see if they hold on to that lead. But again, you're watching the Focus. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, got an interesting discussion for you guys, and maybe a little rapid fire. Don't go anywhere. The next discussion is gonna be fun. And shout out to the people who made this list to give us something to talk about. Welcome back to the Focus. So shout out to the good folks over at Slam. Came out with a wonderful list. They tend to do these lists several times a year. All these lists are usually different. This one caught Cardell's attention. Made sure to send it to me to let me know this is something we would be discussing on this week's show. So we are. All right. They made a top 100 list.
It's actually an issue.
You said it's an issue?
Yeah, it's the new issue.
I apologize. A top 100
It
issue.
snows. Yeah.
Top 100 issue. We're going to talk
Top
about
worst
this.
players
though.
all times, yeah.
Man, where do you want to start, man? You want to start with the top 10 and break it down there, or what would you want to do?
Yeah, go ahead. You
start
can
with-
give our top 10 first. You go ahead, then we'll get into.
I mean, I'm going to share their list real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So their top 10, this is the top 100 players according to Slam. We got Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant. That's 1 through 5. 6 through 10 is as follows. The Diesel, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Tim Duncan, and Larry Bird. That's what we have.
Yeah.
So, Cardell, you can jump out there.
Well, we gonna give our top 10 first, or we just gonna talk about their list?
How do you want to do this? We
All
want
right,
to
I'm
break down the list
I'm
with
gonna
the
get my
issue
top. I'm
is?
gonna get my 10 real quick,
Okay.
then we can discuss it. Clearly, number 1, Michael Jordan. I don't even need to explain that. That's easy. Bill Russell, 11 rings, 13 years. Like, what are we talking about? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all-time leading scorer. Arguably the most dominant center, offensive force ever. Wilt Chamberlain, like I said, self-explanatory. 5th is Magic Johnson, the greatest point guard ever. LeBron James, I mean, he's 6. I'm not gonna get caught up in his moments. How people will be prisoners of the moment type stuff. The fact is, as dominant as he is, you can't ignore some of the negative stuff with him, and also the fact that with 5 championship losses, if you that guy, you gotta get him over the hump, just like those other players did. Tim Duncan, a lot of people talk about the 2000, 2010, that era, and just give it to Kobe. I'm like, nah, he shares that with Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan was every bit as dominant, if not more, than Kobe Bryant. And he was leading the way. Like, Dave Robinson didn't have any championships until Tim Duncan got there. Then when Dave Robinson left, Tim Duncan got a few more. So it's clear where he stands. So Tim Duncan, then I'm going to give it to Kobe. And then, of course, Shaquille O'Neal, 4 rings. He might be the most dominant force ever. And Larry Legend, man, I can't ignore Larry Legend, what he did. And people don't really realize he won 3 MVPs in a row. The 86 team is among the greatest the league has seen. 3 championships. I mean, what more do we, need to say about that?
All right. So I got Mike, Wilt, Bill, Kareem, Magic, Bron, Tim, Shaq, Larry, Kobe.
Ooh, you don't like Kobe. Them Kobe fans.
And look, you can at me at Willie T Speaks. You can get at me whenever you want to. Also at my Mono Sports. And
He's very active on
if
Twitter,
you want a
guys.
community response, you can hit us at the Focus TV. It's whatever you want. I'm here all day. I take it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go, of course, Michael first. This is always so hard for me, though. Michael, Wilt, Kareem, Magic, LeBron, Kobe. Oh, I forgot Bill. Jesus. Like, so many people. Bill, Tim, and Larry.
All right. So we want to start with their list. So that we just gave ours.
Right. LeBron's second is ridiculous.
I think it's a little
not
too
ridiculous, but it's a little too early for that.
Yeah, and
I
this
feel
is,
like it's like that for a lot of, like, just looking over the entire list. It's
Yeah.
a lot of them
We
that's
gonna get to 'em.
entirely too early.
Oh, we gonna get to him.
And again, I just want to say my top 10 was based off the 10 they already had at 10 because, again, y'all know me, I'm kind of petty. Some of the people had on my 10 may not be in my personal 10 overall, but we'll talk about that another week. Yeah, I think some of it's a little too early. LeBron's definitely in the conversation, one of the greatest players of all time. That's hands down. No issues here.
But you got to win.
But you got it.
Win,
It's too early.
Like, championships count.
Like, there's several levels right here.
That's how I
and-
evaluate it. People always be like, how do you evaluate? It's simple. For me, it's just your level of dominance and how it equates to winning. The combination. That's why I got Bill Russell second. Because people just like, he averaged only 14 because he had scores around him, but those scores couldn't defend. So he focused on rebounding and defending. But when he had to score, he did. People forget in Game 7, he had 30 points and 40 rebounds.
Like, let that sink in
And
real
then
quick.
it's and they're not even gonna do the stats because they don't really want to kill stuff. But talking to people back then, they also say he averaged between 6 and 10 blocks. So what if he averaged? Add that to the equation.
We talk about somebody might have been averaging a quadruple double at times.
Yeah. And the only
during
reason why
certain series.
And the only reason why I put
They just
Mike
wasn't taking
above
stats
him
then.
is because obviously the undefeated streak in the finals beating Hall of Famers to do so, but because Mike was great at every aspect of the game. He dominated every aspect of the game and stuff. Like, I always tell people, okay, fine, you might have a dominant center, but how you going to get him the ball with Mike pressing him 94 feet and he can't get past
Entry
that ball?
pass is an option.
You see what I'm saying? So that affects the center's ability to do what they do. So that's why I got him number one. And then he don't need nobody to get him the ball to make plays on offense. He go get the rebound, go do what he need to do. So it's really no way you can stop that guy. Where center's kind of more limited. You can, if you make it hard for them to get in the post, what they gonna do?
It's predicated off somebody else giving him the ball.
And then the thing is, people forget about Bill Russell when he won championships after Red Auerbach retired as player coach. I mean, that's crazy in itself. I mean, a lot of the players get like, I ain't listening. I'm tired of, you being a man and all that. Then his last championship, he beat a team with Elgin Baylor, Jerry West, and Wilt Chamberlain. Come on, man. So he on his way out. So you just gotta see that. Who else? Kevin Durant, 13th. Way too early for that. He just got his first championship.
Way too early.
Yeah, he just got his first championship.
They got him over a lot of people.
They just got his championship, but I get it. He has the talent. He will be there. But I also, they had him 13th. I had him 16th, and this is the reason why the championship solidified him the way he wanted.
Yeah.
But people look at him because he's young, because he came out after his first year of college. Look at his years in the NBA.
Yeah.
That's 20. That's like 25 every
Yep.
year. Like 25 for 6 or 6. Like it's
Now,
crazy.
he's taking down a couple records when it's over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
but like you said, it's just early. Salute to
yeah,
early.
because he came in the league early. So I'm looking. I had to go back and look like, well, he been in the league for 10, 11
Mm-hmm.
years doing. I'm like, I can't knock it. Like he got the championship and stuff. Hey, you know, it is what it is. You know, Steph Curry, 19th.
It's too early.
All right, he deserves to be on the list. I don't know up that high but his level of dominance has been too short right now. He got to keep going. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I'm perfectly with you because technically for
Like
a little
4
while,
years.
like it hasn't
Right,
been
it
it hasn't
hasn't-
been a full 4. Technically, we're still living in LeBron's era technically, and someone hasn't officially taken it. At least to me, like Golden State's on the verge. You got to give them another chip or two. Then it's their era for me.
Yeah.
Just because LeBron's had it for that long.
Right.
And as of right now, again, he's still the best player in the league. You gotta let this play itself out before we get too far.
But even I'm just looking at all the time. Even if LeBron wasn't even in the league, he retired
Right.
or whatever like that. The Steph Curry level we seeing now has only been around for like 4 years. It hasn't been like
His
KD
entire
at this
time.
rookie year. Yeah,
It wasn't like it was the entire time.
We're not
he
on
was in
year
the league.
10 of this level of dominance.
Yeah, exactly.
Got you.
After KD rookie year, it was on. Like, all right, I'm ready. You know, you see what I'm saying? So it's a bit different, but you got to add in the back-to-back MVPs and 2 championships. That's why he, I put, where, let me see where I have him. I actually got him way further now. I got him like 31.
But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that because we're talking about right now. Like some of these guys that are on his list, we're comparing like finished products or like their whole resumes with guys whose resumes are some of them just really getting started.
Right.
So it's you got to keep that in mind when if you're looking at this list trying to determine where your favorite player was.
And also, the thing that really just blew my mind,
Go ahead, say
how
it.
is Greek Freak 85th in the top? Like, he just, like,
Nah.
look, man, he just popped up
I
on
don't
the
even
scene
know
for,
if he
like,
should be on 100, really.
Look, he not.
I mean,
took
just
him
to be
off.
honest with you,
He's
like, he
not.
shouldn't be
I
on
took him
there.
on mine.
I
You know
took
who I
him off.
replaced him with?
Ooh.
Anthony Davis.
Which is fair. Speaking of Anthony Davis, real quick, I need people to look at the month of February he's having.
Oh yeah, he's
Just
annihilating
real
people.
quick, this month, dude's almost averaging like 45. Like it was like 50, 25 blocks or something last night. It was something really like real my player-ish.
He's like,
last
you ain't
night.
got Boogie, that's okay. It's cool.
Man, it's nuts.
And then they got Kawhi Leonard, 76.
You can't
It's
can't.
not his level of dominance is the same as stuff. It ain't been there. He got chips, MVP, but he not there yet. That's person in the moment. Like they got him over proven players like Adrian Danley and Lonzo Mourning and even Graham. They got Kyrie 82nd. I mean,
Shouldn't be on the list yet.
and I get it. He got a ring, you know that. But before LeBron, no disrespect. But before LeBron, he was just seen as a selfish scorer.
Yep.
So he got a lot to prove, man. But he got a chance to enter it. But
There's a lot of unfinished pitchers out here and people getting, put over top of people with really good resumes.
It's a.
You
it's
said
a-
president of the moment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a time of the present. That's all it is. It's like
And then
you're
the-
seeing exactly what's happening right now, and they're just like, oh, we gotta put him on.
Like
this list.
I'd be better like if it was me personally. Instead of even doing like the top 100 list overall, if you want to include the guys from today, do the top 100 players in the league today. Do that.
That would be interesting.
even Chris Paul. I mean, I'm looking at Chris Paul. What they got? They had Chris Paul.
They had him pretty high.
Yeah, they had
was
him
like in the 30s,
35th
right? Yeah.
above Walt Frazier. He got two rings.
And Chris Paul has how many?
He ain't even in the Western Conference Finals. No disrespect to Chris Paul.
Etc.
I mean, it's not about being disrespectful, but if somebody went and put this dude on the list above other people who have wanted the same position, so I mean, it's not about disrespect or respect right now. It's just it's facts.
And this is why you gotta know your history, man. Like just because they old timers, whatever, you gotta go back and see the damage they doing. Like Bob Pettit, averaging 26 and 15 for his career. Elgin, like you gotta go back and see the damage they did. And I always tell people this, they just do that for the era. I said, fine. Since you feel like it is irrelevant, go in your local rec league, your gym, play in their league, and put up the same numbers they did. You're not gonna do it. You're not.
So they got Russell Westbrook above Gary Payton.
Come on, man. See what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
I mean, even if you think about it, they have Chris Paul above Bernard King,
Come on, man.
Like,
James Worthy, Dominique Wilkins, Kevin McHale, Gary Payton.
Come on, man.
Like, I'm really.
Like Dave DeBuscher, they got him up. Look,
You know how disrespectful it is to throw people above Dave
but
DeBuscher?
he was an 8-time All-Star, 2-time champion. He averaged 16-11 for his career. They don't even know about him. See, people just be throwing stuff out there. They don't even know the history.
They got
of the
Dave
game, man.
DeBuscher 97.
Oh yeah, he did ninth. I thought.
Yo, oh my goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Like they
Yeah,
always
they got Kawhi above him. Kawhi 76.
Why
Like-
Bob McAdoo 66?
cold rings, MVP. Like he was averaging 35 on the MVP. Look, and even players like Hal Greer, they don't know who he is. He was a starting point guard on a great Will team that beat Bill Russell when he was with the Sixers in
Hey
Philly.
man, they got the Chief at 54.
Hal Greer averaged 19, 5, and 4. 10-time All-Star, Hall of Famer. They don't even know about these players.
Hold on real quick. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm finding things that are upsetting me now. Pistol Pete, 61. Like, seriously?
That's because his career ended short.
But on this list where you
Not,
could
not
put...
ended, but the
No,
alcohol got
I
to
got
him.
you, but I'm just saying on this list where we put people from today above people,
Nah, you got to put in that work, man. Like, look here, man.
this is crazy.
That's how I'm old. You got to put that work in. You might have the talent, but that don't mean nothing. They had talent.
Is David Robinson on here at all?
Yeah, he on there. You talking about the slam list? Yeah, he on there. They had him.
Oh, I see him, 29.
Yeah.
Right by Patrick Ewing.
Dad, Giannis above Dave Bing and Alex English.
Sidney Moncrief. They don't even know those.
Sheesh.
He just getting started. He
You got
just
UTEP two-step at 96.
getting started, man.
Yeah. I need let's not combine lists for a little while.
Listen, they in the process of selling maize, so you know they're gonna put certain.
No, I
stuff
mean
in
I
there
get
to
it.
create
Not
controversy.
knocking it, but it's just like it's just
But you gotta put the right information out there. You gotta be
that's what I'm
responsible.
saying.
'Cause
It's
that-
a
that's
little
not-
irresponsible.
That's not cool.
Cause for some people who don't know some of these names,
Google.
but people might not Google it. You're just gonna be like, oh, okay. That's crazy. Definitely a little crazy. All right, there was another topic you brought up that I thought was interesting too. We might not have rapid fire today, but you sent me this great thing about free throw attempts, which I thought was very
We
interesting.
can get them rapid fire because that's part of one of the questions I'm gonna ask.
All right, go ahead. We got time for like a couple questions. Let's go.
Uh,
But I thought the free throw thing was very interesting.
Cause yeah, we gonna get into that. I mean, that could be the first question. Okay. So, after the Thunder's 112-105 win over the Orlando Magic, Paul George said Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony officiated differently than other stars in the NBA. His quote is, "It's tough. We're so aggressive. We play at the rim constantly. We're just officiated differently, all three of us. And it's tough. At least one of us should get the benefit of the doubt. But when we're on that floor, no one's getting the better side of that whistle. But we're going to keep attacking. We're going to keep being aggressive. That's our job, to put pressure on them. At some point, it's got to work out for us." So, you know me, I'm going to go back and look. I did some research. So, right now, currently, in 60 games, James Harden is he's shooting 536 free throws. He has 536 free throw attempts. Second is Greek Freak at 495. Anthony Davis at 446. Okay, so I went back and compared it to, yesteryear. So I'm looking at 97-98 season. Karl Malone led the league with 825.
Yikes.
Michael Jordan had 721. These are 82 games, okay? Shaq, 681. Now, keep in mind, we playing in an era where you can't touch nobody hardly.
Yeah.
And people shoot more threes than ever. So you're not even really driving like that. So it's a less physical era, and you're shooting more free throws. These players are shooting more free throws on average than they did then. You know what I'm saying? So I just gave you Shaq. Shaq shot 681 in 97-98. And he always got fouled. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, they found him on purpose.
Okay, so fine. I took it back even further. 88-89, the year Kareem retired, kind of pushed away the 80s and the 90s was coming. Carmelo led the league again with 918 free throw attempts. Charles Barkley was second at 799. Michael Jordan at 793. This is bad boys era. You getting hurt. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Mike was only big in the top 6.
I mean, in the top 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Top 10, you got A.J. Danley, Kevin Johnson, Magic, and then Chris Mullin. But guys are shooting more free throws more than ever. What do you mean you're not getting the benefit of the call? And the thing is, I think a lot of the refs are kind of retaliating about not calling the fouls because they complain so much. Even how many games we've seen, just covering the Wizards where it's clear that it's nothing. And they look back at the ref like it's a foul. I think Marquis missed a dunk in the last game and looked back like, where the foul? Dude, you just blew the dunk.
Covington swiped at the ball. He still wasn't close enough to interfere with you. You just blew the dunk. It was nothing more than that. And again, for Paul George's quote, you're in the top 20 in free throws attempted this season, and your teammate who you said doesn't get calls is 6th at 416. What are you talking about? I don't quite understand this. What are you talking about?
Sounds like excuses to
Russ
me.
is 6th overall, 416 free throws. James is obviously the leader far and away at 536, but
He has
again,
the technique.
416 free throws makes me feel like you're getting rewarded for attacking the basket.
Hey, man, they just need to stop trying to play ball.
And then 295 free throws, and for the most part, see you taking jumpers more so than attacking, and you still almost at 300. But
Sounds like excuses to me.
next question, sir.
Rockets GM Daryl Morey says James Harden is the greatest isolation player of all time. Has he lost his mind?
Yes, he has. Next question. Sorry.
I'd say
he has,
answered it, so
he has
cool.
lost his plumb mind. Don't get me
good.
wrong. He is great at it. Don't get me wrong. But once again, we're in the era of now, like we just talked about, that everybody just sees it now and just forgets everything else that's happened in the past. But he is a great isolation player, not greatest of all time.
My biggest thing is when the foul doesn't get called, you don't get anything. So I can't
We saw him on wall,
Yeah.
strapped him. He didn't get those calls.
Everything went left. There was no bucket in spite. It was just I didn't get the call.
And like I said, the jury's still out in the playoffs. If you great isolation player, you get it done then. He's been disappearing. No disrespect, but it is what it is, man.
Next
I don't remember Mike, AI, Kobe. You know, I mean,
Despite the contact, they got to where they wanted to go, and the buckets were made. So
in a more physical era. People, you know, so
you're not even allowed to hand check you. Like, come on, man. Sorry.
Let me see. Stan Van Gundy. He blasted the NCAA saying the structure is racist. He said the NCAA is one of the worst organizations, maybe the worst organization in sports. They certainly don't care about the athlete. They're going to act like they're appalled by all these things going on in college basketball. Please, it's ridiculous, and it's all coming down on the coaches. People that were against players coming out of high school made a lot of excuses, but I think a lot of it was racist. I never heard anybody go up in arms about minor league baseball or hockey. They're not making big money, and they're white kids primarily, and nobody has a problem. But all of a sudden, you got a black kid that wants to come out of high school and make millions. That's a bad decision. But bypassing college to go play for $800 a month in minor league baseball, that's a fine decision. You know, what the hell is going on? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I'm with Stan to a degree.
Stan the man.
Like Stan the man. Hey,
Stan the man, man.
That's why I like using. He doesn't talk a lot, but when he talks, you know, it's usually
makes sense.
it's always worth the quote. And I think Stan's on point on this. They've been taking high school kids, been bouncing out of school, foregoing college for years in some of those other predominantly white sports, and no one says anything. And they're not even getting those millions initially. You know, some of those contracts are like incentive laden, and when you get to the big show, and it's cool, nobody asks any question, it's great. But with basketball, the difference is when you leave, that million comes a little quicker, it's not as delayed. I mean, again, I didn't have the issue back before. If you're grown enough to make the decision to leave, whatever happens is on you. And, you know, again, that's still up to the team who drafts you or whatever, but I don't like the thing where now I don't like the NCAA's acting holier than thou when you know what's going on. It's been like this for years. Your system's been like this forever. So I don't get why we're acting like, oh my goodness, look at what's going on.
No, it's just it's kind of like you get all the information. Like the one thing about the NBA, they will tell you if you belong, and they will tell you if you don't. So they got the kids and the families got to make better decisions when that time comes instead of just chasing the money, because you're not going to change their mind. Like, you know, you're not good enough to play here, and that's the only thing. But yeah, they should have that opportunity if the NBA is saying you're ready. We would like to have you and stuff like that. You should have that opportunity to go earn a living. You can go to the war at 18, get killed. You see what I'm saying? It's so many other. You go get a job anytime, anything else, but you can't do that. And really, what I think it is, they're protecting. It will force a lot of the front office and the NBA and the execs and stuff to do a better job. Because if you draft these high school players and they're not ready, because you just they got a name or something like that, and they're not quite ready, held them responsible. You're going to get fired. So that forces them to step your game up. If they're not ready, don't draft them. Then the kids will get the message, be like, hey, I ain't going there because, I mean, I'm like this kid that did. I'm on the same level. He didn't get drafted. I gotta go to college for a year, and then get these players, give them some money, man. Pay them. It don't hurt. I ain't say you gotta give them an NBA contract and stuff like that, but pay them where they don't, they can take care of themselves. They can help their families out because most of them are coming from crazy backgrounds. Like I ain't have a lot of money either, so it can help. But you know how that go. And the last question, Russell Westbrook says Zaza Pachulia is a dirty player.
Yes.
You said yeah.
Yeah.
But all right, he is. But my thing with Russ is get him back.
Yeah.
See, you look. I don't like all that
I got you.
fake tough stuff with the reporters and all that. But then when the
During
dude
the course
actually
of the
touch
game,
you, it's none of that. That's BS. to me.
No, there wasn't any retaliation whatsoever.
And what about his teammates?
The whole
Where the
team
goons
stood
at?
down. They all watched. As a matter of fact, he was on the ground to stop at your play. Like he just sat there waiting for somebody to come over. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, and we had a blast as always. Get over to finestmag.com. Get over to mymodelsports.com, and we will see you guys next week.
No, Saturday.
We will see you guys Saturday. I apologize. We'll see you later this week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much as always for hanging with us here at the Focus TV, and don't forget the mailbag, weekly mailbag with Jarrell and Damo.